It is Global Talk with Bishop Q. Ladies and gentlemen, guys and dolls, welcome wherever you might be joining us. We've been having network problems, but definitely we are here today and we are doing the show. It is a Friday. Welcome if you've just joined us from wherever you might be. Just make sure that you continue writing to us. We are playing the African beat at the background. So just make sure that you put a smile on your face. We have two things that I need to tackle today. After dealing with those things, then I'm done with you. Today, we are focusing on Ask Bishop Q questions. Ask me anything from wherever you might be. Just remember, continue to write into us. On email, we are murutiq@gmail.com. Twitter, it's Bishop Q19. And on Facebook is Bishop Q. And anywhere else where you can find us is always Bishop Q. So make sure that you follow us, you continue talking to us, continue asking us questions, from spiritual questions to any questions that talks about God, amadlozi, and any other thing that you feel that we can tackle and you want to talk to us about it. This is your favorite lunchtime talk show with Bishop Q. We are starting the show. We have two things that we need to tackle. We found two major questions that were received during the course of the week, and people just wanted to know. The first one that we are tackling talks about marriage and friends. Marriage and friends. And somebody was saying to me, the person that I'm getting married to, are they supposed to be my friend? How important is it that the person that I'm getting married to, he should be my friend? How important is it? I recently did a funeral of an old man who was sitting not very far from my house. They were close friends with my father. And when the old man died, I was requested to come and run the proceedings of that family. And I remember that I kept on thinking and coming up with, what is it that am I going to say about this old man who has passed on? My memory threw me back from the days when we arrived in this area. One thing that I still remember vividly about that family was the fact that the mother and the father, they would sit together, they would drink together, they would eat together. But one thing that I would always remember was the fact that whenever they fought, okay, let me paint this picture. They'll probably be sitting in a dining room watching a movie or whatever story that they wanted to watch. And while they were sitting, there will be an argument that arises out of nowhere. And they would argue for a very long time. And the argument would get ugly, like very ugly, with voices being raised. But yet, even though voices were raised, nobody would leave the table. They will continue sitting together. And you'll also pick up after some few minutes, the wife would be saying to the man, baby, let's go and buy alcohol. Now, it means they are now divided into two, meaning each person, they're divided into two, meaning the other part is still angry because of what we've just spoken about. But yet the other part says, you are still my man, you are still my woman, you are still my friend. So that's one thing that we normally even teach people and say, I'd rather have you as my friend than be a lover, because love comes and goes, but friendships are forever. So if you are my woman and I'm able to make you my friend, my ride or my die, Whenever I come across a joke, I would remember you and always want to tell you first. It means you're my friend. And I'm not pretending, but you're my true friend. Meaning I'm willing to spend time and sit with you and have quality time with you. We rather get bored together. There's a song that is being sung by Luther Vandross. It says, I'd rather be unhappy with you than without you not being here. So the point of being married to a friend, it's very important. So that is what we are looking for. Even today, when we get into marriages, whenever we do counseling and premarital counseling, that is one key factor to say, am I your friend? Besides you loving me, having bedtime and sharing money and everything, am I your friend? Because if we cannot be friends, and we always treat this relationship as something formal. When we get there, we are serious. Hello, baby. Hey, hi. And everything is done by order. You only kiss me for 5 minutes. You only kiss me when we stand. And whenever we do that, we are supposed to do this procedurally. And then it means you are not my friend. But somebody who's your friend, you're able to break rules. You're able to go an extra mile. You are able to go wild. You're able to do anything, because when somebody's your friend, you're able to go out and paint the town red. Number 2, there was also a question about submission. That when does a woman submit? Some of the things I posted them on my WhatsApp, and also on my social medias, and I'm only discussing them because of the feedback that I received from people. And somebody was saying, Bishop, please break down the idea of submission and so forth. When we look at the Bible teaches us appropriately that on Genesis 1, God created heaven and earth, and he created a human being. He created Adam. And immediately after he created Adam, from there on, he gave Adam responsibilities. He gave him duties. He gave him things to do around where he was staying. Some of the duties were not counted, but we know that those are the duties and the responsibilities that Adam did. He looked after the garden. He secured it. He looked after the animals. He gave all the animals names. He knew that tomorrow I'm supposed to do this. He had an idea. He had a plan. He had a vision of what this was supposed to be doing. And it was only after that God saw him, that now he has an idea. Now he has a plan. Now he has a vision. Then God said, it is not good for a man to be alone. And God created a woman who was coming in not as a subordinate, but as a helper. Somebody who assists you. Remember, if I'm supposed to table and put it on the other side, obviously I cannot get somebody who's weak, but I need to get somebody who's almost strong as am I, or who's also almost capable like me to be able to pick up this table from one point to another. You don't have to be stronger than me, but you have to be equally like me, because you are here to assist me. So you cannot assist me where else you have a smaller level of brain. Now God created a woman, and the woman only comes into the picture after the man has realized his dream, his purpose, his vision, and he has a plan. I can tell you today, my brother, I once promised you that one day I'll speak to the brothers, and today I'm speaking to all men. No woman will submit to you for as long you don't know who's your king and you are not king yourself. You should go and become a king. And for one to be a king, it means you have direction, you have a plan, you have a system into place. If Ntwaki is going to be my wife, if Ntwaki is going to be my woman, if Ntwaki is going to be my bishop, Magafigala, as she arrives, one of the things that I need to do, I need to say, babes, welcome to my palace. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my territory. As a king, my plans are 1, 2, and 3, and 4. You are giving her the rules that God has given you. You are sharing with her what God has shared with you. So that when you move from that particular point, as a joint people, you are able to move together to the other point. But if you find a woman and you don't have a vision, and you don't have a plan, and you don't have an idea, that woman will take over the relationship. That is, if she's not going to leave you, but she's going to take over the relationship and head it and be at the front and control you. But remember, our purpose and responsibility is to be the head of the family. And you cannot be the head of the family if you don't have a plan, if you don't have an idea, if you don't have a vision. It does not matter if you have money or not. A woman can bring $1 million, but when you have the plan, you are still the man in charge. A woman can bring 10 million to me, but if I have a plan, I am still the man of the house. It does not change my standpoint. It does not change my opinion. It does not change how I speak. So women will only submit to men who have a vision, who have a plan, and who have direction as well. One other famous lady, she said, teach me the God in you, and then I will submit to what you understand. So I need to know God first. I need to say to my wife when she comes and say, babes, this is my Father, this is God. These are the instructions that I found from God, and this is how you're going to live, and this is how you're going to do things, and this is how we're going to proceed. But if a woman comes and I'm not sure what needs to be done, obviously will take over. And remember that a woman will never teach a man a thing, because remember that her purpose, her role is to come and assist. Now, she cannot teach you, meaning she needs to find you who have prepared things. You might have not joined them together. You might have not put the plan together, but you need to have an idea and say, babes, and from that particular point, the woman, she's supposed to come and say, I love what you have here. I think for this to work out, let us take that and mix it with that and mix it with that. Then that's when you see that you have a good woman. But other than that, you'll find a woman who's also confused as well. And if you are also confused, it's two blind mice going together. So it's important for a man to have a vision, have a plan, have direction. I love a woman who's able to come into your house and they find you with a vision and direction and say, babes, from here I'm planning, I see us doing that and that and that. And the woman, she says, and I know how to do it. That's how you build a relationship. The other one said, when a woman stays, they stay because they still have hope in you. But after a while, if you don't gather your things, if you don't plan your things, if you don't have a vision, if you don't have an idea of where you're going, she will stay for a while. But let me tell you a secret. Women live before they live. Yes. Women live before they live. What do I mean? I mean, a woman could be staying with you physically, but her mind and her heart, they're already gone. They can be staying with you, but angasakuthandi. And she just goes along until she finds somewhere to jump. And I'll tell you, my brother, whenever they jump on, it's because they have found somebody who has a vision, who knows what do they need to do. And let us also encourage women to say, it's important that there's no need for you to stay. There is no need for you to stay. If things are not working out, there's no need for you to stay. You have the right to leave and say, Yahamba. We have come across a number of women, ababekezele udoti. They say that in Zulu. I'm going to speak Zulu today. Umfazi abekezele udoti. And you can see that the guy does not have a vision. The guy does not have a plan. He does not know where he wants to go. There is no need for you to stay, my sister. The guy does not have hope, does not have direction. He does not even have a plan. He might not have food, but if the guy has a plan, at least you are able to work it out. So that is my story. That is my first answers that I gave about relationships, submission, and getting married. So continue following us on YouTube. Continue following us on Instagram. Everywhere we can find Bishop Q. Talk to us. Tell us what you think. What are the answers that you want me to look into? Pray for you about them. Sometimes you also need a prayer. You can also write to us. Maybe you also have spiritual issues as well. Mhlambe unobungoma, mhlambe uyabhodla, mhlambe you cannot even sleep at night. Maybe you have dreams and so forth. Continue writing to us. We are very impressed and love getting to hear from you what you think and what is it that you want us to respond upon. My second issue came from a friend of mine who wanted me to analyze this story that I'm going to share with you. The heading says, I ate the cursed funeral beef chicken stew, Thokozani. I once had a patient who came to me, and I think sometime early last year. Ugogo makafika zihlobo, she told me her problem, that she's married and they've been trying to have a baby, but every time she gets pregnant, after 2 months, she gets a miscarriage. Let me pause there just a little bit. Having a child is a blessing from God nabantu abadala. And if it does not happen, it means you haven't found that endorsement from both of them. It means God has not endorsed you having a baby. It means nabantu abadala, they haven't endorsed you to have a baby. It means something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. Sometimes you need to go and consult. Consult not only a traditional healer or traditional doctor or anything, but it means you need to get in touch with your inner self and also get in touch with God. Because remember that God is the ultimate one who still has everything. So you need to go and speak to God. Like literally speak like father and son. Like daughter and father. And during that process as well, you sacrifice, you fast. You start speaking to God. And there is no way that God cannot answer you. Nabantu abadala abogogo nabomkhulu, if you understand and look at your path, where you come from, because some other times we are also being beaten by where we come from. Because sometimes, I spoke about this in my other shows, to say sometimes we get involved with wrong people. And by the time you get to a right person, you are filthy from all aspects. Physically, spiritually, health-wise, and all of that. Hence, those who have proper relationships or people who want to get into serious relationships, before they get to a particular level of the relationship, they decided and go and cleanse it. Because that could help you also look at the issue of pregnancy as well. Because if you've been to doctors, you've been to gynaes, and they've checked your womb and so forth, and they find it's fine, but you also need to look at your background as well. It's very important. And you can see that they've been pregnant before. After 2 months, she gets miscarriage. After the miscarriage, what do? You need to go and cleanse yourself. Because remember that a miscarriage or an abortion or anything like that, it means the spirit has left unpleasantly in your life. And that spirit does not go where it's supposed to be going unless you redirect it and say, go, rest in peace, go and settle and so forth. But if you cannot do that, that spirit will move around you, and you'll always go around carrying that black cloud on top of you that is stopping you from doing anything. If you have questions, continue talking to me and post those questions as I go through the story. It's very interesting for me. It was intriguing. Hence, I wanted to talk to it about this cursed funeral beef. And says, I told her, Mina Gogo, I'm not a sangoma. I don't use umuti. If you want healing, I'll have to refer you somewhere where they can, where they can help you. Because the only thing that I can help you with is getting answers and knowing what went wrong. One other part that is also the part that I love is the issue of referral. Tina Zangoma, Tina Inyanga, we as traditional healers, or Sanus, whatever you might call us, we need to get to a level of understanding and saying, it is okay to refer. I teach about referrals. How important is it? Because remember, as a traditional healer, it's impossible that you can heal everything. I repeat, it's impossible that you can heal everything. Some other things you this way, and some other person will do things the other way. Mina lang corner. Ukobela, the one that was teaching me, she's a those who look at a pediatrician. She specializes with kids, pediatrician, because over the weekend, surely she will be able to see almost 10 clients, and all of them, they are all the ages of under 10. That simply shows that they are pediatricians. So as you go through Nobunyanga Bako and everything, you also pick up the things, or you pick up the system, and then you end up knowing what is your strong point. And if your strong point is 1, 2, and 3, and 4, stick to it. Any other thing, if you haven't learned any other thing, you haven't seen that thing being done, or it was like that now you can improve, start doing stroke and doing what. Don't take chances. Don't do it. Refer. Siyabonga Gogo that you used that word to say, Mina, I can refer you. Now let us continue the story. It says, I can refer you somewhere else. The only thing I can help you with is getting answers. What's actually wrong? Avume ugogo, and we started consultation. Gishaya manzi, zihlobo, and start checking and saying, what is happening? what is happening? Then I started having a vision. I started seeing, I saw a small bottle inside of a plastic. 1. 2, I see a funeral, kind of like a gathering of some sort, people all over. Thirdly, the third thing that I saw, it was a paper plate with food inside. And I was like, hi man, konzakalani la? And I told her to put her right hand on the dish. It appeared her sitting down, eating the food inside. I saw a beef stew. It was clear to me that she got this from the food that she ate. The food that we eat, we need to also be very careful. What do we eat and where do we eat? Remember, your body, I also spoke about the idea of the body, that the body will always tell you what is it that you're supposed to eat, what is it that you're not supposed to eat. Especially if you're a spiritual person. But even though you are not even a spiritual person, but your body will always tell you, this is, I can eat this I can't eat. And anything that you cannot eat, you leave it aside. Kunabantu who cannot eat at funerals because they react in a particular way. Kunabantu bangadli ama takeaways because they react in a particular way. There are people who cannot eat boiled food and everything. Is because the body will normally respond in a particular manner. I continue. Now Ugogo is starting to see some other things, to see that there is a third hand which is involved here. Because now she's seeing little bottles in plastics, she's seeing people at the funeral. So there is a direction to say something was put, it was coming from a little bottle inside the plastic, and this thing was done in a funeral, and there was food which was there, and specifically it was a stew that was eaten. Now you're able to ask your customer or your client and say, when was the last time you went to a funeral? After she left, I remember something my grandmother once told me about secret ritual in other families that they do. This will shock you. Probably this will also make you start thinking twice before you eat in a funeral. In the family, we had someone who had a problem of miscarriages. When she passes away, after bathing her at the mortuary, people would normally bribe the people who work at the mortuary and take a small portion of water. You know, the water that they normally use to wash that person, they normally take that little piece of water and they take it home. Arriving at the home, they put that water in the meat normally, which they know everyone will be able to eat. Now, normally there is that mentality that says when they do that, they are actually cleansing or they are actually removing that burden of miscarriaging in the family. Because sometimes they believe that it's Abazalwani, they have this word that I love, they call it generational curse. So this system also, it's viewed as cutting the generational curse to make sure that if the other generation did not get babies, the other one also does not get babies as well. A thought just went through my head. Whole witchcraft is to banish the evil curse in the family. Whoever is weak spiritually, the curse will go with them. I'm not saying don't eat at the funeral. I was just telling you what other families do. So normally for them to remove that, everybody has to eat that little bottle of water from the mortuary. They normally put it inside the food so that whoever's weak, they are able to take that thing with them. 1, being weak spiritually, that is something that we also need to be careful about. It's important that you need to be spiritually strong and wise. Always ask about gogo, always ask God. You know, when we grew up in a house where we were taught that in everything that we do, let us put God first. Let us make sure that we put God first and say, God, I'm about to leave. God, I'm about to do 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Merely because you are asking God to guide you, to protect you, to give you strength in everything that you do. And there are those, according to their family rituals, purposefully, they are supposed to be making sure before they leave the house, and that you are leaving or you are going to be staying at your boyfriend's house, whatever the case might be. So we normally take it for granted, and as part must hamba abantu abadala. It's important to remember that kwamele uphahle ushaya isandla phezulu saying, especially if you are a spiritual person, and if you know ukuthi unedlozi or unabantu abadala, just keep on announcing to them. Sometimes you don't even have to do such a big thing. Sometimes you just get used to announcing, to say, now I'm leaving, now I'm coming back. Now I'm leaving, now I'm coming back. The idea is that ucela uNkulunkulu nabantu abadala to guide you as you go somewhere else. So here they talk about their rituals which are being done. And it's not only in funerals. They can do it in a mall, they can do it in a park, they can do it in the street, they can do it anywhere else. And the idea is that somebody is supposed to pick up that. It's like a flu. If I wanted to make sure that you get flu, I would eat something, put something on it, and leave it there. Because ngiyazi ukuthi ngiyakhala, ngiyazi ukuthi ngithanda ukudla, ngiyazi ukuthi you don't like things that belong to you. You will be able to take those things. And that's how the sickness or the misfortune, they continue from one family to another, especially if you're not spiritually strong. So remember, spiritually strong, it means umuntu ophahlayo, no umuntu othandazayo. Praying as well also helps. Let us get used, especially as abantu, to pray. You continue getting used to pray. You pray every morning when you wake up, just to be thankful that you woke up. It's important. During the day, when you get time in your busy schedule, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, God, thank you for the day. Ntambama, in the evening as you get home, you also make sure that we are pasha and you pray as well and say, at night, very importantly, before you go into bed, you pray kneeling down. That I will emphasize until the day I die. When you pray in the evening, you make sure that you kneel down, because the idea of kneeling down is primarily showing God the respect, showing God his position, showing God that you love him. But you cannot pray inside the blankets, because we know for a fact that you have tried it, it has failed. I know that you have tried it and it has failed. I know that there are occasions where you prayed while you were in bed and you even slept without even saying amen. If I'm lying, you can tell me now and say, Bishop Onyamanga, I'm still doing it and I'm fine with it. But I'm saying the best way to ask, remember that asking, it's more like begging. And when you beg, you can't beg something while you are standing up or acting up. But you need to kneel down and show respect to God and be able to ask him for whatever that you wanted to ask from him. So that is the issue that I wanted to tackle. That is the story that Umkhulu sent me. I think there was another part I wanted to talk about of miscarriage and losing babies and nokugeza ukuthi how important is it and so forth. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, our Coco, they are just showing me that miscarriage is also happen because of a third hand. Other people putting their hands into your affairs as as well. So also avoid talking about your issues and your achievements and your plans to other people. Share with those that are close to you and tell them that you are trying to have a baby, and you continuously pray about it and ask God to guide you. The book of Proverbs says, "Ngifake kuyo yonke imisebenzi yakho." Make me part of all your plans. So if your plans are to have a baby and you've been struggling with miscarriages, make sure that we humble your cares. You get cleansed. We normally use a chicken for obvious reasons. I teached about it the other time. So make sure that you get a chicken and then you go and cleanse yourself. It has to be in that particular manner. There is no shortcut. I see people writing here asking me if there is a shortcut. There is no shortcut to it. You need to go away and be cleansed so that you get prepared to start all over again and start getting pregnant in a clean place and so forth. They also showed me as well that sometimes if some other rituals are not done properly from a family background, those are some of the things that you need to check. Your history at home, what does it say about you, your family, your father and your mother? Because some other loopholes, they are also being done or they are being influenced because there is a particular procedure or there is a particular process which was not followed, and that is harming the family and making sure that nobody gets babies. Abokoko, they are also telling me as well, Guti, some other people in other families, they would choose a family and choose somebody who's supposed to go ephehlweni ahamba ayothwasa. And ukuthwasa kwakhona is totally different. Akufani nokuthwasa kwethu where you heal and consult and so forth. But your purpose is that you thwasa so that you bring idlozi lonke liphelele ekhaya, and after you have done that, you can go back to your normal life. But the idea is that you brought that presence yabantu abadala ejardini, and people can start getting pregnant, and people can start getting money, and people can start getting kids and married and having their good luck and so forth. Merely because omunye wena uhambile wayothwasa enithi makabuya wabuya nazo lezi. Ay! I also see people who I also pick up somebody who has also picked up a number of things like Puma. Just make sure that you also look after your yard as well. And there are things that they will be shown to you. Sometimes as you leave the gate, you will find a little piece of water and you're not sure how come. It means somebody came and urinated there and so forth. Don't take it for granted. Start taking steps. Cut it oil off, mix it with chilies and whatever. But if you go and get whatever muti that you can mix and start to clean anything. And remember, even plain water that we've just prayed for very hard also does wonders as well. Water and a prayer also does wonders as well. So just make sure that you continue doing that. I'm trying to check amongst all the people that are watching here. Who else am I picking up? Now I'm gonna leave it there for today. This is Bishop Q on Global Talk. If you have questions, you can continue asking us questions. Connect with us, talk to us wherever you might be coming from. We answer all questions, spiritual, amaphupho, anything that might be coming through and you have questions. You want to ask about God and you can ask us about it. We will make sure that we always come back and answer you. And our books, they are still available in the market. We have 3 books, Kapelani, Lessons from My Father, and the latest one saying Yearning for Tomorrow. Those 3 books, they are available for 350 rands. So make sure that you get in touch with us. We'll connect with those books and make sure that konke kuhamba kahle, you get the book. But if you want the one that talks specifically about spirituality and noNkulunkulu, how do they mix and become one, get a book that is called Kapelani. Write to us, talk to us, and tell us about where you are coming from, and we'll organize. Our team is always ready to respond to such, and they will make sure that they give it back to you. So continue writing to us, talking to us on email. It's murutiq@gmail. Let us see if we can get that on the screen so that everybody's watching. People are able to write and talk to us. It's murutiq@gmail.com. And then on Twitter, make sure that it's @BishopQ19, @BishopQ19. And continue subscribing on our YouTube channel, telling us how much you love the lunchtime talk show. And on Facebook, it's Bishop Q. Make sure that you write to us, because remember, we are only here to learn. We are not clever, we are not wiser. But us sitting with you, engaging with you, we are also growing to become better people. So make sure that you put a smile on your face. Have a lovely weekend. Next week, jam-packed, I can promise you. Next week, jam-packed. We have Aus Zintle, who will be talking about mental illness. It's a showcase. We also have a late night queen who's on TikTok. She's making wonders. Utholela abantu mawungajoli ungenamuntu. Make sure that you follow her. She's our lovely sister. We'll be seeing her poster also running around as well. So next week, jam-packed. We are having ladies throughout. We are interviewing them. We are getting the story about mental illness. It is something that is real. It is happening. Sometimes we take it for granted, but mental illness is a sickness which is here. Sometimes it's things that we grow up with and we take them for granted, but only to find out that those are the mental illness that we carry with us. So make sure that you put a smile on your face. So make sure that you have a lovely weekend. People are dying. Even now, it has been very difficult for us to connect because we've been getting news. Even our mayor in Joburg, we are told that he has also passed on as well. May his soul rest in peace. And all the other people, should make sure that you put on a mask and you always sanitize so that kube right. uNkulunkulu uyanithanda. Make sure ukuthi uyaphahla njalo, ukhuluma nabantu abakini. Don't take it for granted. Abantu abadala bayakuthanda. Thokoza.